inventor with a big idea, and now he's missing. Julian Brown, the mind behind turning plastic waste into fuel, hasn't been seen in over 2 weeks. What happened to him? Julian Brown, also known online as Jab, is a 776 Foundation Climate Fellow and the founder of two green companies, Nature Jab and Jabarima. At just 12th grade level education, he's already built tech that could change the world, a microwave pyrolysis system that turns plastic into gasoline. He's been featured on platforms like the Weather Channel and praised for live demos showing exactly how his process works. But now, he's missing. According to multiple social media posts, Julian hasn't been heard from since July 3rd, 2025. It's been over 2 weeks. Friends, followers, and fellow activists are worried, especially after he previously posted about safety concerns. Activist Nikki the God said Julian had rejected help from grassroots organizations, and now a white podcaster is allegedly speaking about him in the past tense, as if something terrible has already happened. On Facebook, people like Mark Miller and Matt Eaches are calling attention to the case. Miller said Julian had a, quote, mental breakdown before disappearing, but emphasized, this is not a joke. This man turned plastic into gasoline. Others have pointed out a disturbing pattern. He's not the first Black inventor working on alternative energy to vanish. Posts with the hashtag Where's Julian Brown are now flooding timelines, with many wondering if his groundbreaking invention made him a target. Whether Julian Brown is missing by choice, in hiding, or something worse, his disappearance has sparked serious questions about how we protect and support young Black innovators. If you have any information, please contact local authorities. And if you haven't heard of Julian Brown before now, look him up. This is someone who was trying to change the world.
All right, listen, everybody. I can't go into too much detail, but there is some very, very odd stuff going on. I'm certainly under attack right now in many different ways, and I just want everybody to know to just kind of have your eyes open. And I have my eyes open, but there's a lot going on. So I'm still working. I'm still building. Nothing's gonna stop that. But I'm just telling you guys right now, be on the lookout because I'm under attack.
Calculating savings for Byberg Insurance.
All right, giving all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shah, Bahashem Harachakodash, send double honors to our apostles and elders. Here, great millstone, peace and blessings to the Lord's hopefully elect. Let me pull him back up. So Julian Brown, right? You know what's funny about this? We had camp yesterday, and we literally talked about this very same topic, and the brother even mentioned his name. We were on the discussion of how these other nations are going to have to pay because they all had a helping hand in our downfall, whether it's being silent and not telling us who we are. And we went into topics as also how they're capitalizing on our downfall. How they got all these businesses and shops and prison movements. When I say prison movements, I mean prison is a big business, and you can research at how there are private companies that make their own clothes, toothbrushes, anything to sell for prisons. And when you find out the owners behind them are always the other nations, they have these private auctions behind the scenes. So Esau Edom buys it, the jailers buy it. And they need those jails to be occupied. And who you think the target is? Our people. This is why we get falsely accused. They're trying to keep a business going, and we're the targets. And everybody capitalizes on it behind the scenes. We were talking about how you're not gonna find some Moabite, some Chinese man working a 9 to 5 at Target, or some Ishmaelite, a so-called Arab working, the night shift. In the hospital. It's not going to happen. They all have their own ways and methods to get the advantage in the society. They keep it a secret. That's how they can run their gas stations, their liquor stores, the all of these things, right? Amongst and for the most part, they're capitalizing off our people, but they will never take the time to share their knowledge with us. Why? Because everybody, the other nations are in a pact and agreement to come to America, and everybody's making money off of our people, off of our captivity. And as long as we are in low in the captivity, they can all be rich. And we're trying to open the eyes to our people and help open the eyes that and use scriptures to prove like this is very real. These are agreements, almost behind the scenes, to ensure that everything remains how it is. It's just like the Matrix. And we talked about, because I was speaking and I said, see, you the issue is you have people who come up with ideas, right? You have a lot of our people who come up with inventions and whatnot, but they they're naive, being naive. They believe that they can just go public with it and think that they're really going to make some change because they don't realize that the society is wicked. You know, if the knowledge, put it like this, the knowledge to run vehicles off natural resources like water, the knowledge to actually heal diseases and sicknesses. I'm talking about the ones that they claim is can't be healed. The knowledge of those things is already known. Esau already knows. He just worked effortlessly around the clock to ensure that that knowledge stays hidden. And there are videos on it. Many doctors and scientists go missing when they have this groundbreaking discovery on, say, like how to cure AIDS or to stop cancer, all that. They end up going missing, right? Or they end up dead because the society, this is a wicked world we live in. And the world that we live in is just like the Matrix is the best way to explain it. The idea is to keep everybody asleep and just keep the Matrix rolling. And the moment somebody tries to wake up and go against the norm and finds out too much detail, the agents will react. The Matrix reacts in a way to what? Eliminate the threat. Eliminate the threat to the Matrix. Just like in America, just like Babylon. Because we were talking about how our people come up with inventions and they want to do good, and they talk about how they're going to make hospitals, but they're going to use the natural herbs, and they got the cures for this and they got inventions for that. But truth be told is this world is so wicked. If you was to come up with an idea that can really be groundbreaking, if it's going to threaten the powers that be and their money making business, such as gas, right? If you're talking about turning plastic into gas, guess what that does to the gas stations, right? And guess who's no longer the monopoly over oil and over fuel? Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, the powers that be, the infrastructure. And guess what's going to happen to you? They're going to come after you. They're going to target you. And our people think it's a game out here. It's not a game. It's not a game. And the brother actually mentioned this brother here. He said, yeah, you had that brother Julian Brown who can make gas out of plastic. And I was like, hey, I hope what he does is he have some type of, I didn't know the word at the time, but like a dead man switch. Like, don't just announce, hey, I got more news coming for you. Stay tuned. Don't do that. If you're going to release the info to the public, you better have it already figured out. You better see about having some type of patenting first. You better already have some type of dead man switch to get that information out from all platforms. Because if you just announce what you're going to do and what you're working on, you're giving the system the time to come and see you. Yes, this is real. And then just what the brother shared today, this came out today. You know that's the spirit, man. So what's there to say? Well, what we're trying to tell our people, okay? This world is a very evil, wicked world that you live in. And what you don't realize is it's not designed for you to prosper. It's not designed for you to do good things. He was trying to change the world. All right. Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, and including the so-called Jewish man, they're not going to allow that. They're not going to allow one of our people to come up with the idea, because they know that we have those talents and those gifts. They know it. We're the children of Israel. We are the Israelites. The word Israel means son of the Lord, son of the Heavenly Father. Yasha Allah. Yashar, which is Prince. Allah, power, Prince of the power, son of the living power. And Esau, so he knows that we are capable of bringing back life, you can say, naturally, because we are the son of the Creator. So everything he does is to ensure that we stay oppressed. And if anybody comes up with an idea to heal naturally, anything that would jeopardize big pharma, the pharmaceutical companies, the medical field, anything from them making their money, the system, the matrix will react and they will target you. It happens so many times. I've seen videos of Edomites, doctors, all these people sharing their information on how they found a cure for this disease, that disease, right? Next thing you know, they're all gone. Because they don't want that information out. They don't want that because then they no longer have the monopoly over these organizations. This man seeks the scriptures refer to him as the prince of the power of the air. He wants to control the air. He wants to control the water. He wants to control you. He wants to control the food. He wants to control all your resources. And when anybody gets the bright idea to come up with a solution to a problem that they committed, which would in turn jeopardize their monopoly and their control over the people, the matrix will react accordingly. You know, the elder Requia Quam from England did a lesson recently about how this world is full of witchcraft and wickedness. And yes, it's the truth. These political leaders is heavy rooted in the witchcraft. This is a very evil world that we live in. And there are certain things that if you do, or even if you say, will cause this entire world to react accordingly. So much so that everybody knows subconsciously why he's just up and missing. Or why somebody's, if somebody says the wrong thing, which is really the right thing, if somebody says the wrong thing openly, they disappear. Because we were talking about how like this entire world is established on lies, right? So it's so rooted in lies that the truth will literally tear this place apart. This society will crumble upside down if the truth was actually discussed openly. If they actually sat down and discussed openly, say like the moon landing, how that didn't happen. You know what would happen to this place? If it was actually an open discussion where people accepted or knew or even talked about that Barack Obama's so-called wife isn't a woman. You know what would happen? You know how many books they done written about strong black woman? What happens if that becomes an actual discussion? And everybody knows the truth, but what would happen? This whole society would crumble. And those are just two small examples I mentioned. So you got everybody looking for the Epstein's files. Look, you ain't getting no Epstein files. And you already know that man most likely ain't dead. He's chilling somewhere. They'll take care of their own. He just suddenly go missing, and now your leaders, your world leaders, is saying what files? That right there is proof that you will never get to the bottom of the truth in the society. You don't have any heroes in this world. This world isn't establishing truth; it's establishing lies, and this world will do whatever it takes to maintain its dominance. So for you, Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, you Israelites, here's what you need to realize, man. You can't prosper on this side. It's an evil world, as Ephesians 6:10 says. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord Yahweh and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of Yahweh, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. That's what you're fighting against. When you come out to speak the truth, it's you versus the world. And really, somebody should have took that brother to the side and really explained to him the threat that he's in because of how smart he is and how gifted he is and what it is that he's actually doing. You could pat him on the back about how good he is, but somebody should have been in the room to take him to the side and say, look, man, you know you're in danger. And actually explain to him how evil the world is and what this world would do to keep this machine running how they want it run, which is complete control. This world isn't going to support somebody coming up with an idea that allows people to freely operate and maneuver without them being controlled by the powers that be. That's not going to happen. Marijuana was only legalized once they realized that one, they can control and they can make money off of it, and two, they able to pollute it however they want. So people think they buying something, which I don't deal with marijuana at all, but people be buying stuff and they think it's pure, but you have no idea what they're doing to that, because now they can regulate it and make money off of it and they can control it. Now all of a sudden it's legal. That's the only reason why that thing is allowed. And that's just one example. So you coming up with an idea to run a vehicle off water or run a vehicle off of diesel. Turn plastic into diesel. That's gonna that's gonna threat the powers that be. If they really wanted that figured out, they would figure that out. They already know. They've taken out countless people and behind the scenes. And look, you even had that one nurse. What was that one nurse name? I forgot her name. But remember when they pushed the jab and she basically died on camera. She was like, my head starting to hurt. She passed out live. Never to be talked about again. Why is that? Nobody ever mentioned her again. Why is that? Because they have to cover it up. So the family gets threatened, the family gets paid off, whatever it is, this is what they would do to push their agenda. This is the wicked world, evil world that we live in. Yahweh says in 2 Ezra 7, because Ezra asked about praying, how our forefathers prayed. Verse 42, he says, he answered me and said, this present life is not the end where much glory doeth abide. Therefore have they prayed for the weak. But the day of doom shall be the end of this time, and the beginning of immortality for to come, wherein corruption is past. So this isn't the place where the glory of the Lord is supposed to abide. This ain't it. It's just not it. He also says in 2 Ezra 4, well, first let me read that in the NSRV, that same verse. It says, he answered me and said, this present world is not the end. The glory of Yahweh does not remain in it. Therefore, those who were strong prayed for the weak. So the Lord is telling you, this ain't the place where righteousness is going to dwell. This isn't the place for truth and freedom to be established. This isn't the time. This place has to be destroyed. 2 Ezra 4, verse 27. 26. Then answered he me and said, the more thou searchest, the more thou shalt marvel, for the world hasteth fast to pass away, and cannot comprehend the things that are promised to the righteous in time to come. For this world is full of unrighteousness and infirmities. But as concerning the things whereas thou asked me, I will tell thee, for the evil is sown, but the destruction thereof is not yet come. If therefore that which is sown be not turned upside down, and if the place where evil is sown pass not away, then cannot it come that is sown with good. So this world is full of evil, and good cannot be sown in it until this place is rooted up. So you see how the world reacts when someone tries to do something good, especially on that level. What happened? And what Yahweh shall say. This is what happens. This is the truth of the matter. The truth of the matter is, in America, in Babylon the Great, okay, in this society, it's ruled by evil and it's ruled by wickedness. You cannot achieve your maximum full potential in this society and do something that's going to be, like revolutionary or really great or try to help save the world, because the powers that be, they're not looking to save the world. They're trying to control. If they really wanted free energy and free healthcare and all these things, then it would be that case. But they don't want it that way. They don't want There wouldn't be a McDonald's, there wouldn't be a Taco Bell, there wouldn't be a China Walk. If they really wanted, talking about some Make America Health again, if they really cared about people's health and they really wanted people to be free, then this whole structure will turn upside down. They would push herbs and medicine, and they will openly teach in the schools the true power of the herbs and medicine. They're not going to do that because they want monopoly over everything. They want you to be sick so that they can keep you, so they can keep making money. It's a corrupt system. This is the truth. There's no person on the earth right now that you can truly say that can speak the truth and is well liked and respected at the same time. There's not a single person. Everybody likes Denzel Washington, but has he ever spoken anything the truth? No. Whenever he's asked a question that could be considered controversy, he just throws a generic statement out there. He has to stay silent because he knows that if he says the wrong thing, he knows what's going to happen to him. Donald Trump will never speak the truth. He's just a puppet for the is not reallys. The day if he was to ever try to say something, what'll happen to him? He won't wake up the next morning. And they already have those contingency plans for a reason. Everybody in that White House is selected. The day if Trump tried to go against the code, that'll be the day he won't wake up the next day. And then, oh, what do you know? The vice president, he's taking in the next pup is in. He knows that. He's just following orders. He's just the front man. That's the truth. That's why the Lord said you can't love this world. As James 4:4 says, ye adulterers and adulteresses, know ye not that the friendship of the world is enmity with Yahweh? Whosoever therefore will be a friend of the world is an enemy of Yahweh, because we just read this world is full of evil. You can't love this world, man. And here's the whole point of the matter, a message to our people, the Israelites. First, I'm going to read what Yahweh Shah said in John 18:36. Yahweh Shah answered, my kingdom is not of this world. If my kingdom were of this world, then would my servants fight, that I should not be delivered to the Jews. But now is my kingdom not from hence. So even Yahweh Shah said, this ain't our kingdom. This ain't it. So you still have Israelites who want to believe in this community spirit. They want to believe that they're the ones that we could build a community, we can prosper. You really think this man's going to let you prosper? We got to build our own community so we could separate ourselves from the society. How? You still under this man's watch. And then really, that's why these false shepherds that's giving you that hope, they putting your life in danger. Because Esau, because they trying to, we got to rebuild Black Wall Street. And Esau will do what he did before. Esau will drop a bomb on whatever it is you're trying to do and blame Iran. All those lives, families lost, and you won't get justice. You're not coming to terms of how evil this world is. And you people deep down, these people in the world, they know that we're not free, even though they want to act like we're free. They know they're not free because when they look at us on the highways and byways, consciously they're saying, in the subconscious, they're saying, y'all fools, man, I couldn't do that. Because if I did that, man, I could lose my job. I could even lose my life. So you're acknowledging that you're really not free and you really don't have freedom of speech because you really can't say you can't speak the truth like that. You really can't, like, openly, but we do. Because even our lives are at risk because we understand we're literally we're going against the evil world. The difference is we have Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shah for protection. We know what we're up against. That's why that's how we're able to prosper in this, because we have Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shah for protection. Unfortunately, brothers like, Julian Brown, he's just out there in the world, which makes him an easy target. And even there's plenty, look, Umar Johnson, he came out today and said that He got his bank account frozen because they trying to target him. But you know something about Umar? Even though he's a comedian, but I did a video on it, but he went on a thing and he was talking about how he knows that he has spies amongst them. So even he's realistic to understand that what he's doing or what he's trying to do is going to make him a target. And he says he already knows there's at least, I think he said 2 to 4 people he knows for a fact that they are spies. You know, being a comedian like that and everybody take you for a joke, but there are some, sometimes when he's speaking, he's being for real. He at least he acknowledged what it is that he's involved in. You got a lot of Israelites that they don't have a clue of what they're involved in. Yes, the Esau will send spies. We know we got spies amongst the camp. We know it. That's how the system moves. That's how the system operates. We know people like Vocab Malone are agents looking to set a snare. This is the reality. This is what happens in this evil world. We looking, we watching because we know what we're in. We're not just lollygagging. Oh, Israelite community, so much fun. We're gonna build our own community. Yeah, you think Esau just gonna let you try to prosper again? Man, he will drop a bomb and blame it on Iran, and you won't get any justice. See? And then even Kevin Samuels, right? Now, a lot of people like Kevin Samuels. The thing with him was, he was just, causing, making a lot of ruckus because he was, telling women to their face truth about him. A lot of women enjoyed it. They called in because they knew they were going to get cursed out. They just wanted the attention. But in a sense, a lot of men looked up to him. So he was getting fame. He was getting recognition. But he also, that itself, you just earned a bunch of enemies. Number one, the so-called black woman. And truthfully, if you're going to do a job like that, if you're going to take it upon yourself to do something like that, he didn't know what he was involved in. He didn't know how evil this world was either. Because if you're going to do something like that, like what Kevin Samuels was doing, you got to be a eunuch. You can't deal with women. And if somebody's, I would have told him that, but when you are gaining that much attention and you're speaking on some level of truth in the world, and you gaining popularity, you got to be a eunuch, bro, because you know what's going to happen. Those women are going to plot. You were actively a target, and they will come to try to take you out. And what happened to him? He had a heart attack, right? But guess what? It just so happened he spent the night with a woman. That right there, I already knew what it was. And it's a correct woman too. Young woman too. But there's not much information on her. I wonder why that is. Oh, and just so happens she's a nurse. I know what happened. Most people want all this coincidence, but that was no coincidence. She was sent. You don't just come across a beautiful looking woman like that and she just into you, interested. But when you doing that good, you can't, in this society, you can't be on that level like Kevin Samuels and think you could just live it up in the society and you could just have the pleasures of everything. What do you mean? This is America. I can say I could do all this and I could still deal with the best women and all. And I know you got too comfortable. You got relaxed. You actually was moving reckless. You got to be a eunuch. If you're going to take it upon yourself to do what he's doing, you can't deal with women. Will easily. They're really like the best hitman. They will never be suspected. They can get in and out, do their thing and go. Hey, it's just like in Black Lives Matter, right? There was because that really kind of started, you could say, St. Louis because of the Michael Brown situation. But there's one name that they don't like, and it's Derek. Let me find it. I don't want to get it wrong. All right, I found him. Darren Seals. This was his name. It took me a while to find this. So this brother here, when that whole Black Lives Matter thing was happening, he was the first and very vocal one to go on the radio and admit and called out that the Black Lives Matter, what they were trying to do was introduce the LGBT thing, and that they weren't really trying to support. You can find it. He was on the radio, and he's very vocal. He was saying it. He was like, what's happening is you got these, homosexuals, they coming down here, because he was being very vocal. He was like, they don't even support this. They're not with this. They're just coming down here taking pictures. They really just trying to introduce the LGBT thing in it. I mean, he was going off on the handle on it because he believed in marching and whatnot. Next thing you know, ended up dead, all right, in a burnt car, and nobody knows what happened. And everybody pretends like this name doesn't exist. So this is a good name to remember if somebody want to talk about Black Lives Matter, but this is what they do. Let's see if I can find it. I did a video on it, but he been shot, and he was in a car that was caught on fire, and nobody ever caught him. His name, they try to bury it. Why? Because he spoke up against the powers that be, and he was calling them out plain, and he was calling them sodomites out, and it was them sodomites that took him out. You already know, This is how wicked this world is. So this is for you Israelites, man, that want to believe that you can make a community on this side and think you can really prosper. Micah 2:10, arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. Because it is polluted, it shall destroy you with the sword destruction. This isn't the place, Jake, to try to build a community, turn things around. It's not going to happen. They will not allow it. You understand? This is not your rest. This place is evil, it's corrupt. This is what they'll do to our youth. Beautiful minds, ability to create, to change. That brother, beautiful mind, trying to do a good thing, but because he lives in a wicked world, he's a target. And his only crime, right, is because he's a beautiful. He got a beautiful mind, gifted mind, and he wants to make change, and he's thinking about helping and actually trying to help a situation. But the world is wicked. You understand? So I find it funny that this came out after we literally were just talking about it at camp yesterday. Even Umar came out today, said that he's being targeted because he at least acknowledges it. This is what happens, man. And like I mentioned, like Kevin Samuels, like I said, you may not believe it. Oh man, it was just a coincidence. He just had it. If you want to, that's fine. But I understand how evil the society is. I understand that women, right, will do what it takes to take out a threat. And if you are living reckless, if you don't understand that you have enemies, they can easily infiltrate and they can easily find you. That's why when we teach this word, okay, we trust in the name of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. That's our protection. But we know what Esau got in store for what he's planning on doing with us. We already know. They're trying to set the snare, paint us the Israelites with a broad stroke, terrorists, evil people, whatever, lock them up. The concentration camps, all these, the death penalties, all this coming back to target the Israelites. Literally, the scripture says there will be an insurrection upon the believers. He says what? Revelation 12, last verse. And the dragon was wroth with the woman and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which kept the commandments of Yahweh and have the testimony of Yahweh Shah Mashiach. So the scriptures already tell you, because according to this world, this new world order that they're trying to establish, which is the image of the beast, which then they're going to introduce the mark, which is going to be that microchip. Their main threat is going to be those who have faith in Yahweh Yahushua. The devil's strength is fear. Faith will conquer fear, and they can't allow it. The Israelites, the believers, is like the last glimmer of light, and the darkness is trying to consume that light. They know that in order for them to conquer this world, the greatest threat, the number one threat to their society of being established, are the Israelites who believe in the truth and have the truth. And because they have that faith, and that faith, we can't conquer them with fear. So we got to take them out. We know what is coming for us, but we pray Yahweh Shem Yahushua is going to protect us. We acknowledge how evil this world is. We're under the wing of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. This world is evil, man. Give up trying to make something great in the society. Nah, man, scripture says use the world, don't abuse it. If you come up with something great or whatever, and you keep that to yourself, keep that amongst the brothers, right? And just pray for this place to be destroyed, man. It's evil, all right? Shalom.